Happy birthday, Glad Tidings Church. We're celebrating 71 years of being a church. In 1950, we started gathering for worship in a small house in Central Austin. And today, we have 5 locations across Central Texas. Glad Tidings Church is one church that meets in multiple locations. There are Glad Tidings locations meeting in Manor, in Liberty Hill, and in Leander. In addition, we have campuses in South Austin and Buenos Nuevos, and in Central Austin, both of which offer services in Spanish as well. And all of our locations are ministering to meet the needs of their cities. And through the years, we've sent out multiple missionaries around the world to meet the needs of the world. And Glad Tidings has led the way in missions. Glad Tidings has led the way in planting churches, and we've led the way in outreach. And it's been an incredible 71 years of God's faithfulness, God's blessing, and God's grace. And I'm grateful as we celebrate God's goodness and we celebrate the wonderful history of this church. And I'm encouraged as we look forward that it's going to be 71 more years of God's continued faithfulness, God's continued blessing, and God's continued grace. Guys, this has been a busy year throughout the entire church. You've probably noticed the progress and the updates that have happened at each one of the Glad Tidings campuses. Improvements like new signage, new carpet, finished out spaces, redone parking lots, replacing a couple of dozen ACs, and updated kid spaces. But more significant than the building revisions are the many life renovations we've witnessed as new people have come to faith in Jesus Christ. And as you probably noticed, there's been a few other changes. We're going by the name Glad Tidings Church instead of GT Austin. And we're doing this because we are one church with multiple locations, and those locations extend outside of Austin proper. Reviving the name of Glad Tidings Church, it allows us to be one church that declares hope and develops people in multiple locations around Central Texas. At Glad Tidings, we have such a wonderful and a rich history, and yet there is so much more in store for us. But guys, there's one thing that we know. From the past 71 years to the next 71 years, the mission has remained the same, to bring the good news to our communities. Because here at Glad Tidings, we're going to declare hope and develop people to bring them into full relationship with Jesus Christ. Glad Tidings Church, happy birthday.